coming up here last year when I was at UNLV, really seeing what's been done with the facilities in the area and everything. I've obviously played here. When I was at Long Beach State, we played in Laramie. Of course, that was in the early 80s, and things have changed quite a bit since then. So I think, just seeing it and knowing it, and obviously I think the coaching staff, it's always the people you're working with and the people you're working for, and I think that's always very important, when you look at the jobs that you're in. So I look at this as a great opportunity, and this reminds me a lot of where I went to college, Washington State University. Pullman is very much like this. It's an ag school, small college town, and so it's very comfortable for me coming here. It's almost like coming, it's a homecoming in a sense of being in a college town. And a lot of the places I've been have been college universities and college towns, and they've been very enjoyable for me. Well, the interesting thing is after being a head coach and, going to Oregon State is when you're sitting in meetings, and even here, you sit in that head chair. So you understand the reasons why things are being done, and you also understand that there's only one person in the room that really has all the answers as far as, why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? Is it a monetary issue? Is it a structural issue? Has there been outside influences that affect it? Because I don't think what you realize as an assistant how many outside influence really affect your program and how you have to run it. Well, I think, the NFL is so different because you learn to really coach at levels. You're dealing with players. I had rookies that were 21, 22 years old, and I had veterans that were 33, 34 years old. So you really learn to coach at a lot of different levels. When you talk about a player that has been in the NFL for over 10 years, he's got such more experience. He's a grown man. He's got a family to support. And then you got a kid right out of college, and his eyes are open, and he's just trying to figure out the game. So it really taught you to teach, I think, at different levels, And I think, everywhere I've been in my 36 years, I picked up something from every coach I've been around. I've been fortunate. I've been around a lot of great coaches, and, had a lot of success and a lot of fun. So it's been an exciting time. It doesn't seem like it's gone that fast. Well, I think, and I'm originally from Los Angeles, so that's a big transition. You're talking about coming from the largest city and one of the largest cities in the country to one of the smallest. But Coach Sweeney was a head football coach, and Joe had played for Coach Sweeney. So there's always a kind of a bond that I think like people always attract. And, there was a lot of respect for Joe Tiller. Felt like he was one of the best offensive line coaches in the Pac-8 conference at that time. And I was recruited by most of the conference coming out of junior college. And, just felt like, it was a good fit up at Washington State as far as the offense. I think as a junior college player, you're looking for a position where you can come in and play right now. And they just graduated a tackle. It was a draft choice by the Miami Dolphins, Tom Wickard, and felt like it was a very good fit. And, Joe was just kind of the topping of it, talking to players that had played for him. Felt like he was going to get the best out of you. And that's the one thing I was looking for as a player, is I wanted to be pushed to be the best I could be. And, Joe I knew could do that. Unfortunately, I never got a chance to play for him, but we've always stayed in touch. And, I know he's living up here in the state now, and I think it's awesome. Well, I enjoy the outdoors. I'm not a fisherman, but I love being out on the boat and out in the water. In the wintertime, I love skiing. I love the outdoors, and like I said, being able to get out of the city. I grew up in a city, so I don't need cities anymore. So, and I've lived in cities since I left Los Angeles. Oakland was a major city. Cincinnati was a good-sized city that I lived in. Las Vegas is a city of 2 million now. It's really grown. So, just enjoying the outdoors and enjoying that, and I enjoy coaching. I've enjoyed every year of it. It's been a lot of challenges and interesting. It's been kind of like a roller coaster, when you look at being 60 minutes from a Super Bowl, playing the AFC Championship, and then losing that, and then the next year I go to Oregon, and we win the Fiesta Bowl and wind up number 2 in the nation. And those are experiences that I always look back at and have great memories of.